So hello friends, today we will be discussing an important topic of microbiology, that is chlamydia. Okay, so the topic today is chlamydia or chlamydia, whatever you say. Okay, so chlamydia is basically an obligate intracellular organism. So when I say obligate intracellular organism, what does it mean? It means the organism will only grow inside a living host, inside a cell. The cell should be living. The cell should be living. Okay. So that means, sir, cell should be living. That means only I can grow it in the laboratory in a cell, isn't it? Will it grow inside the laboratory in the cell? So will it have any media? Will it have any media to grow? Do I need any artificial media? Even if I give it artificial media, will it grow? No, it will not grow. So that means it is an obligate intracellular organism that it can't grow outside. It can't grow outside the cell. Perfectly intracellular. So this won't be growing in any artificial media. It won't be growing in any artificial media. Okay. So that means I will be needing some living specimen rats. Okay, very nice thinking, but we use in the laboratory, we have to use what? We will be using some cell lines. I will tell you the concept of cell lines in later on in the coming lectures. But here I want to tell you, cell lines means I have some cells in the laboratory. Okay, HeLa cells, for example. For example, we have HeLa cell lines. Okay, we have many types of cell lines. I don't want to discuss it here because the topic will get deviated. I will simply tell you, you go to the market and you ask that microbiologist, please give me some cell lines. Please give me some cell lines. This is how you can understand. You buy those cell lines and then you inoculate them with chlamydia. You buy those cell lines in the packet and then you inoculate them with this culture if you want to know whether it is chlamydia or not. So we use some cell lines here. So what is the cell line called? So the cell line for this is called McCoy cell lines. McCoy cell lines. Okay, so you will need a cell. This you have to remember. You will need a cell. This is required. Okay, or you can also use egg yolk. Egg yolk. You can also use egg yolk. Is it fine? You can also use egg yolk for culturing. So do they give any sort of gram stain? No. I use which stain? Giemsa stain. I use Giemsa stain. Giemsa stain. Giemsa stain. So Giemsa stain we use. And this is such type of parasite. It is using the ATP of the host cell. It wants that already produced ATP because it's not able to produce its own ATP. Since it cannot produce its own ATP, therefore it is called as energy parasite. Why energy parasite? Because it depends on the host ATP. Depends on the host ATP. Okay. So they are unable to grow in a media, unable to produce their own ATP. That means they are some sort of a boy or a student who is always dependent on someone else. Obligate intracellular. Once they go inside the cell, then they can grow. Okay. So what is the test you are using? We find them by, we use microbiological techniques. We can use the diagnosis in ELISA, or you can use PCR. ELISA or PCR. Okay. And in common, I will be teaching chlamydia, but I will tell you, this is a general introduction I'm telling you. First, you should have an introduction general introduction about the family, this whole class, and then you can understand the genus. You can then understand the genus. Okay, since for example I tell you, you belong to the family of Khan. So what is the, for example, we belong to the family of Khan. So what is the Khan? What Khans have in common? Khans are good people. Khans are, no, every good thing you will say about them. So that will apply to other Khans also. The son of this Khan, the grandson of this Khan. So this is how, what I am telling you right now. I'm telling you Chlamydia. Then we will go inside the whatever is present inside Chlamydia, which genus we have in the Chlamydia, the members. So this is a general that about every Chlamydia this is applying. This is applying to every Chlamydia, the general characteristics. And ELISA PCR is the general we are using for the diagnosis. So what will be the drug you will be treating these Chlamydia infections? Azithromycin. Azithromycin is the drug of choice. Azithromycin is the drug of choice. Okay. Is there any difficulty till this point? This is so simple, I think. I said it simply. Otherwise, you get confused in the books. So I have made it simple. Okay. Are we making notes? Are we making notes, guys? Okay, thank you. I hope you are making. Now see, we have, if you give them squamous epithelium, so you have squamous epithelium. If you give them squamous epithelium, they will be showing what? They will grow. If you give them lymph node, they will grow. So they show tropism. Okay. Now what are the genus? Okay, so genus. Okay, now we go into the genus. So genus of genus in Chlamydia. So we have basically two genus. We have two genus in Chlamydia. Okay, so Chlamydia has two genus. Let me write like this. Chlamydia has two genus. First genus is called, first is the Chlamydia itself, and second is Chlamydophila. Chlamydophila. Fine. Chlamydia and Chlamydophila. Chlamydophila. Chlamydia we have which? The famous Chlamydia trachomatis. Chlamydia trachomatis. And Chlamydophila we have two. Chlamydophila psittaci, Chlamydophila pneumoniae. Phila psittaci. Okay, psittacosis, psitta, parrot. Okay, so this is pneumoniae. Chlamydophila psittaci and Chlamydophila pneumoniae. Have we clear? Clear, friends? Now have your full attention towards me. The important topic where you get confused. Look at me, guys. Look at me. Look at the board and listen to. Keep your ears open. See, this Chlamydia. I want to go this Chlamydia. This Chlamydia are having some forms. They are having some forms. Okay. They are in various phases. So their forms will be different. At one time I give you the slide, I tell you, show me, you will be seeing one form of this bacteria. And then I give you another slide of the same bacteria, you will say, sir, the form is different. They exist in mainly, some books write 2, some write 3, I will go for 3. So we have 3 forms available. One is called elementary body. Listen first, then we write. The way to understand is first understand, then write. Okay. Elementary bodies. Second form is reticulate bodies. Third form is persistent bodies. So what did I say? EB, RB, PB. So I will say we have how many? Three distinct, not distinct, I won't say, because one form is remaining persistent. So I will say three morphological forms of chlamydia. One form is elementary body. Elementary body is written as EB. Second form is reticulate body. Reticulate body, guys. And third form is persistent body. Persistent body, PB. Reticulate body, persistent body, and elementary body. Okay. This is extracellular. This is extracellular. Making life easy. Reticulate body is intracellular. I have made it easy, very much easy, so that you don't have any difficulty in understanding. And intracellular, this again. Intracellular, this again. Are we able to understand? So we have extracellular, intracellular, intracellular. Fine. Now I give you an example to understand. Okay. What happens is during, I will say this as a life cycle. Can I take it as a life cycle? Yes, sir. Because forms are different, they're actually the part of the life cycle. Life cycle. Okay. Now listen to me. Have a look. Have a look. If I have a cell, I have a cell. Which color to take? I have this cell. And what happens? Who is extracellular? Which form of this is extracellular? Which form of this is extracellular, guys? Which form of this is extracellular? Yeah, very nice. So extracellular form is EB. EB form. These are EB forms. Okay. EB forms are extracellular. Extracellular elementary bodies. So these elementary bodies will infect the cell. They will infect the cell. After infecting the cell, they will go into, after infecting, they will become what? Inside, they will become, where did this go? They will become, let me zoom, they will become reticulate bodies. Reticulate bodies. Reticulate bodies. Fine. First they infected this cell and then they produce reticulate bodies. Reticulate are for reticulate are for reticulate are for replication. So they will replicate. Reticulate body is the stage of replication. Elementary body is a stage of infection. So who is infectious? Elementary body. Who is replicative? Reticulate body. This is how we can make life easy. Otherwise you will get confused everywhere. Reticulate body is replication. Then the next stage it will proceed to is, now it will have two fates. We will have two fates here. Fates of this reticulate body. One is that this reticulate body will multiply inside. It will multiply inside to again produce what? Elementary body. Again produce what? EBs. Second fate which it can have is, the bodies will remain persistent. There will be no multiplication. They will remain persistent. they will remain persistent. This is how I have understood it. So these may remain persistent. Okay, persistent. This is EB. Now what will happen when this again bursts or lysis happens, or lysis, whatever you say? Lysis happens. What will be happening? What will be released again? You will tell me. What will be released? What will be released, guys? Elementary body. Very good. What will be released? Elementary body will be released. Are we clear with these phases? Are we clear? See how we are proceeding. Then we have again EBs. So who is the infective? Which bodies are infective? If you want to do infection with chlamydia, what you should produce? EB. Very nice answer. If you want to replicate inside, which form you should replicate? Replicating form is reticulate body. Infectious form is elementary body. Which of the following is metabolically active? Which of the following is metabolically active? Reticulate body. Reticulate body. Very nice answer. Reticulate body is metabolically active. That's a beautiful answer. Metabolically active. Fine. And this is metabolically. Second, you have to. No, we will remember specific points. We don't want to go into that. Who will break easily? Elementary body or reticulate body? Reticulate body. Reticulate body has a fragile cell wall. It has a fragile cell wall. It has a fragile cell wall. Who will be having but natural? It's but natural that you will be answering dash. Dash. That reticulate body has more amount of RNA, isn't it? It will be having more amount of RNA because that is to produce replication copies. So it will be having more amount of RNA. So who is having more amount of RNA? Reticulate bodies. Reticulate bodies. By going to chlamydia trachomatis, we also call it LPLT agent. What do we call it? PLT agent. What is PLT agent? Not any country agent. Not any country agent. It causes psittacosis. Psittacosis, lymphogranuloma, venereum. T for trachoma agent. Psittacosis, lymphogranuloma, venereum. We also write it LGV. LGV. Okay, so LGV, trachoma agent, or also call it TRIC. What is TRIC? Trachoma inclusion conjunctivitis agent. Trachoma. Okay, akka. You can say akka. Akka. Okay. Chlamydia trachomatis, akka PLT. Akka trick. So, trachoma inclusion conjunctivitis agent. Psittacosis, lymphogranuloma, venereum, trachoma agent. Trachoma. I forgot to write trachoma. Okay. Inclusion conjunctivitis agent. Now let me talk about chlamydia trachomatis and then Shiitake. Okay, then I will talk about Shiitake and pneumonia. Pneumonia. What? Pneumonia. Where is that? Where is that? Yeah. Okay, this chlamydia. Okay, are we clear what we are studying? Okay, we are talking about this person. Okay, orientation is important. So, let me write about this. Chlamydia trachomatis. This Chlamydia trachomatis is having yeah, Chlamydia trachomatis is having serotypes. Now, its serotypes will be producing various diseases. I will say like this: the serotypes of this bacteria of this species will be producing what? Various types of diseases. So some serotypes will be associated with LGV. Some serotypes will be associated with inclusion conjunctivitis. Some serotypes will be associated with infant pneumonia. Some serotypes will be associated with genital chlamydiasis. Some will be associated with trachoma. Some will be associated with trachoma. So how to understand, sir? How to write it? You should write like this. So if I talk about chlamydia trachomatis, this chlamydia trachomatis, the serotype, its serotype. Let me write the serotype. Its serotype Abbak. Abbak. What? Abbak. I remember it by Abbak. ABBAC. ABBAC serotype. You should have a comma in between. So A B B A C. So if they ask in the exam, serotype B is responsible for dash. So these all will be causing trachoma. They all will be causing trachoma, which I will be teaching you. Trachoma. Fine. This clear? Now serotype number D to K. Serotype D to K. D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. D to K. From D to K. They will be causing number 1. Genital chlamydiasis. So genital infections such as pelvic inflammatory disease. PID is pelvic inflammatory disease. And genital chlamydiasis is also there, which is the most common, by the way. It's causing genital chlamydiasis. Okay. What else it causes? It causes inclusion conjunctivitis. Inclusion conjunctivitis. Conjunctivitis. Third, it causes infantile pneumonia. Infantile pneumonia. What is the other name of inclusion conjunctivitis? What is the other name of inclusion conjunctivitis? Swimming pool conjunctivitis. Swimming pool conjunctivitis. Okay, easy. This was for what? Serotypes D to K. This was for serotypes D to K. This was for serotypes trachoma. This was for serotypes trachoma. So serotypes trachoma. This D to K cause genital infections, PID, inclusion conjunctivitis, infantile pneumonia. Now it's which strain? This was serotype. Now which strain? L1, L2, L3. It's L1, L2, L3 serotype will cause lymphogranuloma, venereum, LGV. So serotype ABCD, ABBAC, trachoma, D2K, genital infections, PID, including conjunctivitis and infantile. Are we audible? Is the mic audible? Is there any sound noise? Is the mic audible? Okay, okay. So let me talk about, so this you have to remember about chlamydia trachomatis. Trachoma I will be teaching you in detail, okay? So if they ask you what is the most common cause of post-gonococcal urethritis, okay, I'll be teaching you that. So that is what I will be teaching you in the HLA-B27 Writer Syndrome Association is also there, okay? Let me write like this. So next I take this Chlamydia psittaceae. Okay, I take this now. Now I will be taking this. Let me take a green color. There is a reason to take green color. Okay, so I'll be taking a green color. So let me write Chlamydia psittaceae. Chlamydia psittaceae. It's also called what? Parrot fever. Parrot fever. Okay, I hope you can understand parrot fever. Okay, it shows it happens. Why? Because you inhale something. You have pets, parrots, or you have poultry. I should also write poultry, but you have to remember one parrot is enough to remember. Turkeys, ducks. Okay, so what happens? By inhalation loud you get the infection. Okay, so which serotypes cause this? You are fortunate. You should directly write in the exam many serotypes. Many serotypes are causing this psittaceae. Okay, this done. Let us take the third one. What is the third one, guys? Chlamydophila pneumoniae. But before going into that, I want to tell you Chlamydia trachomatis. Chlamydia trachomatis. What is it causing is? Chlamydia trachomatis is the most common cause of non-gonococcal urethritis. I will tell first. Post-gonococcal urethritis. Okay. PIDs, acute epididymitis. Okay. And ophthalmia neonatorum, or that is also called disease of that newborn neonate. And also it causes inclusion blenuria. Inclusion blenuria. So let me say like this. Chlamydia trachomatis. First, I want to write something extra about chlamydia. Chlamydia trachomatis. Okay. So chlamydia trachomatis, most common cause of trachoma. Most common cause of trachoma. Okay. What is trachoma, by the way? Just for now, just remember, it's a preventable endemic blindness. Preventable endemic blindness. Okay. What else? It is the most common cause. Most common cause of. So chlamydia is the most common cause of trachoma. So another most common cause, PID. It is the most common cause of PID. What do I mean by most common cause? Means if you see a PID, mostly will be done by this. The agent would be this. Culprit would be this. Okay. Another most common cause of what? NGU. What is NGU? Non-gonococcal urethritis. Non-gonococcal urethritis and post-gonococcal urethritis. Okay. Now it is associated with, if you are not treating it, what are the complications of chlamydia trachomatis? Complication. Okay. Complication of C. trachomatis infection. The complication, most important, please take a note of this. Most important, it is Reiter's syndrome. Reiter's syndrome. Reiter's syndrome. Okay. Can we see the Reiter's syndrome? So that you can get in your brain Reiter's syndrome. Okay. So this Reiter's syndrome is characterized by cup, Cup means conjunctivitis. Urethritis. Arthritis. Or you also write it polyarthritis for the mnemonic sake. Okay. So how we used to remember in the medical school is, how I used to remember is, the person with Reiter syndrome can't see, can't pee, can't knee. Okay. So how I remember is Reiter syndrome. So can't see, can't pee, can't knee. Okay. Is it clear? Knee means I can't bend the knee. That person can't bend the knee. Is it clear, friends? So conjunctivitis can't see, urethritis can't pee, and we can't bend the knee. Okay. So this is about what else it causes. It causes an infection. It's D to K strain was causing an infection. What else it was causing? It's D to K. Its D to K infection was causing. I forgot to tell you. Where is the D to K? Yeah, its D to K was causing. To remember this, ophthalmia neonatorum. Ophthalmia neonatorum. Okay, which strain? D to K. Okay, happens during this vertical transmission. It happens during this vertical transmission of baby. Okay, his eyes getting contact with this trachoma, and what else it causes? It causes, the complication would be, the complication next would be, this was first complication. Second complication it will be causing is, yeah, there was a syndrome that is Fitz Hugh Curtis syndrome. Do we remember that syndrome? Yes, sir. We remember that syndrome. So what is that? Perihepatitis. Perihepatitis mostly happens in a sexually active woman, sorry, sexually active women. Okay. Okay. Is it clear? So what about lymphogranuloma venereum? Lymphogranuloma granulium is basically, let me write. So we'll go into LGV strain, lymphogranuloma venereum. Okay. So LGV, it's basically a sexually transmitted disease. Sexually transmitted disease, and invasive one. Invasive one. Okay. Who is causing which serotype, which serovar is causing this? L1, L2, L3 of Chlamydia trachomatis. If they ask you which is the most common serotype causing, it's L2, L2 greater. Okay. Right. So what is the clinical feature of LGV, lymphogranuloma venereum? So we have number one, clinical feature. Basically, it's an asymptomatic disease. Asymptomatic disease. Asymptomatic disease. It's characterized by enlargement of lymph nodes. Enlargement of lymph nodes. Which lymph nodes? Inguinal lymph nodes. Enlargement of inguinal lymph node is called bubo. It's called bubo. But this will be painful. It will be painful. Okay. Bubo will be painful. And it will be showing what? Asthiomean. Sorry, not mean. It was moon. Asthiomone. Asthiomone. What is asthiomone? What is asthiomone? Asthiomoon means elephantiasis of uvula. Elephantiasis of vulva, not uvula, vulva. Okay, so we call it vulval elephantiasis, vulval and elephantiasis. Okay, then which test is positive with this? We have a skin test. That skin test is called Fry test. Fry. So Fry test is positive. Fry test is positive. And we have a sign. That sign is called Groove sign. Groove sign is also positive. Groove sign is also positive. Easy. So what is LGB? LGB is painless ulcer and painful lymph nodes or bubo plus asthiomoon. If they ask you what is LGB, you should say it is an asymptomatic disease in which we see asthiomoon and bubo. At least these you remember. It is caused by chlamydia trachomatis, which serovar L1, L2, L3, which is the most common causing L2. Okay, and it's an invasive infection. So what are the inclusion bodies you will be appreciating on this inclusion bodies? You are in the lab diagnosis, you will be seeing, we call them on the glycogen. On the glycogen, we put them on the glycogen. So the inclusion body produced. Okay, the inclusion body produced is called Halber-Stetter Provazek HP bodies. What happened to this? So Halber-Stetter Provazek. These bodies will be called Haber-Stetter Provazek. Okay, it is Provazek bodies. It is also called in short HP bodies. HP bodies. So these are the inclusion bodies you will be producing in the laboratory. Okay, these bodies will be called Provazek bodies. Provazek bodies. Fine. Okay. Okay. So then we go to the other techniques. What we can do is we can go for DIF. DIF is direct immunofluorescence. Or you can also go for ELISA. You can go for PCR. So what is the drug of choice? The drug of choice is dash. We said in the beginning. The drug of choice will be guys. Drug of choice will be azithromycin. But remember, I give you one concept. For all chlamydial infections, you will be giving this except LGV. LGV, the drug of choice will be doxycycline. So doxycycline will be drug of choice for LGV. Okay. So they will be asking you a question. If they ask you, maybe I think I long time back saw in maybe in the PLab recalls or something. Okay, maybe in the PLab recalls or in the step 1. The recall was saying what are the inclusion bodies in the lymphogranuloma venereum. The inclusion body name gets changed. The inclusion body in lymphogranuloma venereum is Miyagawa bodies. Miyagawa bodies in lymphogranuloma venereum. If they ask you now what are the inclusion bodies in psittacosis? What are the inclusion bodies in psittacosis? You will say LCL bodies. What is LCL body called? Leventhal, you should learn it by heart. Leventhal coal lily body. Leventhal coal lily body. Okay. So what are the inclusion chlamydial inclusion bodies in Psittacosis LCL body? What are the chlamydial inclusion bodies in LGV Miyagawa corpuscle? They call it also Miyagawa corpuscle. And if they ask you what are the inclusion bodies in trachoma, so the trachoma inclusion bodies is Halberstadt Powazek bodies. Trachoma. This is for trachoma. Because we were reading trachoma, that's why I use this. So they use glycogen. And stains, you remember Giemsa stain you can use, TIF you can use. Are we clear with this, guys? So this completes your chlamydia, but I will be giving a correlation because the mostly your exams recent pattern is that they are mostly going for integration. They are asking integrated questions because that's how you understand the things. So what I will be doing, I will be making a short video next time about trachoma, clinical trachoma, how we will diagnosing and how to treat that. Okay. So I will help you remember the stages also. Okay. I will help you. Don't worry. Remain confident. Just keep studying. Okay. So I hope you have enjoyed today's session. So see you all next time. Till that, take care. Bye bye.